Todd, hold on. Give me a second here. Okay, we're rolling. Let's just start out with that question number one. What is your life like as a professional snowboarder?
I'm 36 years old. I've been snowboarding for probably 20 years at least. Been pro for 15. And now I split my time between Colorado, California, and a duffel bag. Basically been trying to push the sport for as long as I've been doing it.
So where does filming rank in your priorities for snowboarding?
It's a love-hate relationship I have with filming videos because you're under such pressure to land every single time, and it was definitely a lot easier when I was younger. When I first started riding and first started getting recognition, videos were just starting to come on. I mean, there was a point where you would be filming 4 video parts in 1 year. There were so many people with cameras everywhere that, you know, you'd film a video part at a resort in the springtime.
Nice.
But now it's so much more involved to do video parts where you're on a snowmobile, you have to go and jump off of some cliff, and if you bomb hole the landing, then you're pretty much out. So it's like the stakes are a lot higher now. I'm working with Sean Johnson right now. It's a 2-year project for Whiteout Films. Just trying to get some good tricks into the bag and make sure everything is landed solidly and no sketching around. So you might have to work on the same trick like 15 times until you get it exactly the way you want it. It's really just commitment and trying to find your groove. You know, hopefully it'll pay off. I'm reminded I'm not the young guy every damn day I get up. I have this ongoing battle right now with my ankle. Sometimes it shuts me down for the day. I had surgery a few years ago on my arm, and it's like the bottom of the barrel for me as far as my life. Just to not be able to do what I wanted to do. I just don't want to be out again.
How did skateboarding, enter your life?
Skating started for me end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year. It started out as like trying to fit in. I wanted to like kiss a girl and be taller. Went out and eventually got like a crappy skateboard and started skateboarding around, and it started to be really fun because I actually could do something. I ended up looking at a Thrasher. I just remember reading that, being like, whoa. Okay, so I thought that I was skateboarding, but that's not really skateboarding. Like, this is skateboarding. As things progressed and I started to get better at skateboarding, it was like, yeah, I want to be in a magazine. I want to have my picture with these guys in here. That's it. This is like the goal. It consumed me. skateboarding definitely opened doors, and it's come full circle too, because, you know, skateboarding led me to snowboarding, which led me back to skating and getting to skate with the heroes that I worshipped in the magazines when I was younger. For instance, you know, I never in a million years thought I'd be like, you know, friends with Tony Hawk.
Tony's definitely one of those guys that's become so high profile that it's kind of, he can't like leisurely go and skateboard. And I think that's why he built the park in his backyard, and he just has his friends go over there, and it's, you know, it's fun to just cruise around and be a dork and not have to be a human demo all the time. You know, we go skate in his backyard and try stupid tricks and portions of his park, and we slam and laugh and make fun of each other. It's just, it's part of it. It was definitely a benefit to have a vert skating background, especially back then, because I wanted tricks to look a certain way and go at a certain speed. There's definitely been like tricks that I've had to overcome. Once I got by those, like I couldn't believe it. I finally did it. And the first one was actually dropping in. The second one was doing hand plants on the coping at this one ramp, because I'd slammed on one of those. And I mean, it's worked the same in snowboarding. There's been tricks that have been like my nemesis. It's just a matter of working at it or going away from something and coming back to it from a different angle. And then finally one day, I just overcame it.
This is Todd Richards.
As soon as the half pipes came out, I think I had an advantage because snow was considerably softer, so I would go for it a lot more. Snowboarding was more of just like some weird novelty act to do in the wintertime. Snowboarding was actually really difficult back then. It was nothing like skating on snow. The equipment was crappy and you were always wet. It was miserable. It was literally a miserable experience. I ended up going to school near a mountain and just started to snowboard more because I had more friends to go snowboarding with and the equipment was better. Something just clicked. Did better and better, started working my way up the ranks. I got a sponsor, started riding for Sims, won a bunch of titles and a bunch of different events, and just seeing how far it'll go. Well, I'm riding my pro model from Omatic, this board that I've designed. You know, over the years, you know, I have ridden a whole bunch of boards, and I think that to bring that into a company, you know, 20 plus years of riding, it definitely helps coming into it with all that knowledge behind you for sure. The first snowboard that I ever got, I had high-fived everyone and was heading home and was throwing my stuff in the car, and this shady kind of rep came up and gave me a board. It was a pretty big deal. It was a huge deal for me. I'm good enough to be sponsored, and that was really cool. That meant a lot. So I just want to give back, you know, with our company Omatic. We're helping to get more kids into riding that wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to go and snowboard because snowboarding is so damn expensive now. We want kids to be stoked on snowboarding because they have an opportunity to go and do it.
Where's that?
I don't know. I just thought that we do a play on the, you know, the O. You know, the O in our O-matic. What looks like an O? First thing I thought of was a donut.
So what about doing a bunch of glazed donuts like that, kind of like that picture? Pull that picture back up.
Oh, okay.
That's the kind of donut, though, right there,
that's
dude.
the perfect donut.
She is the donut.
You know, there's usually a couple different agendas. Right now it's graphics, working on next year's graphics/ad campaign.
This kind of ties into the screws.
It's kind of a struggle to make sure that everyone's on the same page. So we, you know, have to develop ad concepts and incorporate everyone's ideas.
Trade show.
Okay, so we got nuts and bolts, we got donuts. What else looks like an O?
Just a lot of back and forth about what direction the company's gonna go in. And right now it happens to be ads and graphics.
This is where it right now.
You know, it's great. It's really, really cool to have, you know, a cottage business right now, but it's growing faster than we anticipated. So we're struggling to keep up with it at this point.
Regarding your family life, I mean, there's got to be a balance and a combination. I mean, a lot of joy from these two things, family, snowboarding.
I'm working on raising 2 children, trying to balance a snowboard career with a marriage. I can't say enough about the sacrifice that my wife has made. Try to raise 2 kids basically on her own as a single mom for 6 months out of the year.
Okay, hey, Guzzler.
I come home for 15 minutes and I'm like, you know, overwhelmed by the craziness that goes on in my house. It's starting to become like more and more difficult as my children get older. You know, living out of a duffel bag was sweet when I was in my 20s, but you know, now I'm in my 30s and it's like, it's not that rad anymore.
I know that I have a family to be able to come back to, and that helps me out so much when I go out on the road. It's an unbelievable feeling to have a support crew like that, for sure.
We went to Mammoth, we did the West Coast Invitational thing. It's just all about having a good time in the sun, getting the sunburn. The Olympics are over, the X Games are over, and now it's just time to kick it. And that's exactly what it was. I've done pretty much every contest that there has been to do. And now I just pick and choose, and I really like to do contests like the West Coast Invitational, where it's like a jam format, and it's sunny, and it's nice out, and it's just a bunch of guys having a good time. You know, there was a lot of heavies there. Danny Cass was riding, Giacomo Crater, Chad Otterstrom. I mean, there's a whole slew of the who's who's of snowboarding. Trying tricks that I haven't done in a long time. I mean, and it's usually at those events like where my peers are there and they're like, oh dude, you gotta try backside 720s or try backside 900s or try this or try that. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'll go and try it.
Do you think you can ride progressively forever?
I certainly hope so. I don't really see why not. I'm 36 now, and it's like I don't really feel any different when I'm riding than I did 10 years ago. It's just the aftermath. The next morning, if I ride really hard or I slam really hard, it's definitely sore, but it doesn't really stop me from getting up and doing it again. I probably won't be able to ride with the ferocity that I'm riding now, but I think that, you know, if I take care of my body and just, you know, ride smart, I'll be able to ride for as long as I want to. I'll hear little things from guys will tell me, you know, oh, dude, it's just cool to see you're out here. And, you know, I don't think of it that way. I just think of it as like just another day snowboarding with a bunch of guys that I'm friends with. But if that's how they feel, cool, because that's awesome. It's still there. It's like riding a bike. Everything is still up in your head. You just gotta like have to have one of those days where everything is clicking, and it just happened to be warm and sunny, and I tend to ride best on sunny, warm days, so.
Describe what it's like to be a commentator.
First and foremost, I'm a snowboarder. I like to snowboard, and if I can't be snowboarding, I'm talking about snowboarding, so why not get paid to talk about it? The West Coast Invitational has the daytime half pipes, and they have the nighttime rail jam in the village, and all the people come out at night. The kids toss themselves onto the rails, and here's me and the dingo sitting down there talking, just talking smack and keeping the crowd up to date on what's going on with tricks. For me, when I'm feeling my best and it's really fun is when I'm actually like commentating like a live event, like sitting there with a microphone and just throwing it at these guys.
Oh, little hot garbage there at the end of that. Yeah,
I'll sit there and I'll sling crap at people all night long if they're out there in front of me. I like to be a voice that knows what's up. And I pride myself on being friends with pretty much every person that's in these contests. And it helps me to get inside their head. And I have more fun when I can kind of give them a little flack.
I think he wants a 270 out of that. What do you think? Look at that guy.
Never really thought of it as something that I would embrace. It was always kind of like a side job to fill in while I was hurt or something. As I've done more and more commentary work, it's pretty cool. I started to think of it in a different light, that I'm actually going to be the liaison between snowboarding world and the actual general public. And just like I said before, if I can give something positive back to our sport, I'm all for it.
But he has the body of a 70-year-old man.
Well, there's one thing I've actually learned from snowboarding that's concentrate on what you're doing, and the future will just play itself out the way it's supposed to. I'm incredibly stoked in the past. You know, I couldn't have, scripted it any other way. It's just, I've had my ups and downs, and, it just builds backbone, and things have gone along great. I got in at just the right time. It was a perfect niche, and I've been able to keep pace with it since then. I'm definitely concentrating you know, on what's happening in front of me and making sure that everything I have is under control now, and then the future will just happen the way it's supposed to.
Make sure it's the right amount of money here.
I'm glad I tried.
It's the encouragement award. Best tryout. Best tryout.
Shit. That sucks. That's like getting special ed award. Give it to me. Say something to the camera, dude.
Todd Richards, I am honoring you with the encouragement award. Best tryout at the Vans Fiesta de la Pipa Pipe Jam.
You said, well,
$500.
Thank you, dude. Well, best trier, that means I didn't actually make anything, I just tried.
No, you landed some tricks.
Okay, but
You also
Dude,
went.
I
God, I saw a scorpion in the middle of a half pipe. I didn't know if you were getting up from.
No, I definitely was. I was seeing stars. That was a fun little thing. We should do that every weekend.
Yep, fine around about,
That's
you know.
great.
But you can see us on the microphone tomorrow night talking about people spinning across rails.
That's right. We're doing it.